Welcome tributes to episode 4 of JabberCast, a Hunger Games podcast hosted by Jabberjays.net. Today is Friday, May 23rd, 2014, and you are listening to episode 4, From Paris with Spoilers. My name is Crystal, and I am joined here today by Tash in Australia.
G'day, everyone.
We have with us Carla in Germany.
Hello.
Kira in Ireland.
Hello.
And we are joined by our very good friend Courtney from Welcome to District 12 today.
Hello.
Hello.
So I just want to mention that in our last podcast episode, What the Finnick, we made that into a rant post on where's all the Mockingjay stuff. And before I could put it up for people to listen to, Lionsgate went and released like this whole dump of stuff for Mockingjay.
Well, clearly they heard us. So that's a good thing.
I was like, oh my god, all this stuff came up. Oh my god, I didn't put the podcast up.
That's just our luck.
It just felt very obsolete when we put it up finally. I was like, oh, I gotta be faster.
Yeah. It's like the rain dance, though. Maybe we should just do that again next year before part 2.
Yeah, totally.
It's crazy, though. I mean, we're in such a dry spell for so long. And then all of a sudden, there's just like boom, 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 boom.
Everything. Because that is how Lionsgate works. They just release everything at once.
It was cool, though. It was really exciting.
Exactly. I reckon the person was like off on leave, sick day or something.
It is, like, by posted to the site, I felt like I had run a marathon. Like, seriously. It's like everything is boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. See, that's the fun part for me, is because I'm just asleep, like oblivious to all of this. And then I wake up to like 500 messages and I go, what the hell has just happened? I'm overwhelmed with too much stuff.
But see, that's the fun.
And it's always
usually, for me, I'm usually awake when it happens, but it's usually at the point of the night where I don't know, it's like 11 or nearing midnight, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just, goof around.
Yep. I turn into like Gollum or whatever at work because I'm trying to check up everything that's been happening on my phone. And, people are ringing me and I'm like, rat! I'm trying to read through all our conversations and catch up,
Yeah.
I unfortunately had jury duty
on
Friday, and their Wi-Fi, like, they hardly allow any, like, embeddable things, and it didn't work on the mobile anyways, and I was really frustrated.
Oh, that sucks.
I feel your pain.
Well, to recap for everybody, they released a brand new website called Hunger Games Exclusive, which is at Hunger Games Exclusive. No, wait, the Hunger Games Exclusive.com, right? And then it had like it's like their Capital Couture things. It's like in issues. It was called Issue 1, and there were
like better.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're just gonna get a bunch of issues like that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, there were like 6 sections. Like the 6 stills.
I wish they had come up with a better name, though.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. Like, I already thought the Hunger Games Explorer was bad. And then
yeah.
The Hunger Games Exclusive.
Now we've got the Sexclusive.
Yeah, they keep picking E's to put at the end.
Better Lionsgate.
Well, not just E, but EX. I mean,
these teenagers are impressionable.
I mean, just by habit, I still call it Sexplorer.
Yeah.
And like Kira just said, Sexclusive.
And when I'm typing, because I usually just type HGE, and then I realized that we have 2 E's, and I'm like, damn, what do I do now?
Well, it's the Exclusive Sexplorer.
Yeah.
Anyway, like they had like the motion poster, and then they had a Q&A with Nina and Francis and a new writer that we'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, the screenwriter.
Yeah. He wrote The Town.
That was a really good movie.
The only and he's apparently doing Top Gun 2. That's a thing.
There's a Top Gun 2, really?
That's what it says on his IMDb.
There's a Top Gun 2.
Actually,
I'm sure he's writing it, and then way down the line they'll think this is a terrible idea. Let's not do this.
He's abandoning
this. Precisely.
I actually thought that picture of all of them, I thought that was Philip Messina. because he kind of looks like him. And then I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh no, it's someone completely different. Because I was telling our staffer Janine to put Philip Messina because I was just looking at the picture and she's like, I think it's the writer, and I was like, what?
It's like, no, that's not Danny Strong. I know Danny Strong. Come on.
That's not John from Buffy.
Yeah, but that came out as a complete surprise. I mean, I guess I figured that, you know, scripts go through rewrites and whatever, and I guess I knew it would happen, but they could have told us, I guess.
But it's good because he seems like he's on set a lot, which is very
comforting. That was really good news.
And fun fact, he is Sally Field's son.
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Basically, that means Sally Field
That's my fun fact for today.
That is all. That's all I needed.
And then, you know, by extension now, Jennifer Lawrence has shared a car with Sally Field to the Oscars.
Oh,
and
that's
now,
right.
Oh, that's right.
And now she's got the connection with her son.
Awesome.
It's like come full circle.
6 degrees of Sally Field.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the last thing that they put out was we got our first look at President Coin. And we've talked about Coin in the past. I think we dedicated like at least 15 minutes to talking about why she would be Commander Coin instead of President Coin. But when they released her stuff, it was President Coin. So I don't know what happened there.
I mean, I still think it's a Commander-in-Chief type of title. You know, like she's president, she's also the leader. So Commander.
I know, but it was confusing because I mean, there's Commander Paler and there's Commander Lime, and I don't know.
I think maybe they were.
I think
they were trying to take away the connection with President Snow, like
Probably.
not to confuse non-book readers to go, oh, there's another president. What?
Yeah.
I always wondered why there were two presidents. I mean, I guess obviously, you know, if it's a vote kind of thing, of course she would be a president. But yeah, it was a little weird, I guess, for me.
It's so easy how quickly you get in the habit, though. Like, I was already doing, I think, through the pages. It was like, oh, yeah, President Coin. I'm like, oh, my God, what just happened? All this time you're so used to, Commander Coin.
Yeah.
So,
So, was it the Q&A where they're talking about, like, I forget, we're talking about it in comments on our site about Coin's warmth or something?
Yeah.
Where was that from? Was that from the Q&A?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's from the video.
The screenwiter called her. And the screenwriter called her
right.
warmth.
Yeah.
He said she had such warmth.
Her portrayal of Coin is filled with such intelligence and warmth anyone would want to be loyal to the character she has created.
Yeah, and some people on our site commented that they didn't think that was like very Coin-like according to the book, but we have to remember that the Coin that we see is from Katniss's perspective, and she's already kind of in this aggressive mode when it comes to District 13. So I think anything that she looks at with Coin is going to be like, you know. But I mean, I think if we were to watch that assembly where Coin announces the pardons and Katniss's demands list and stuff like that, like I feel like people at that assembly were on more on Coin's side than Katniss's, right? Like, weren't they looking at Katniss like she was like almost a traitor too?
Yeah.
So I feel like she's their president. They look up to her. And she has to have that charisma to have that. Otherwise, she wouldn't be their president, you know, if she didn't inspire their like confidence.
I mean,
the
thing with Coin is that, like you said, she has to have that charisma, and I always figured she would, but at the same time, it's a tricky thing to portray, I guess, and that's why I'm excited to see Julianne Moore in the role, because it has to seem, I don't know about you guys, but I always felt that whatever charisma Coin had in front of her people, we had to know that her true, colors are what Katniss sees, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the charisma thing, she knows how to work the people, I guess, but really not what she is. And that's what I think. I mean, the warm thing, sure, she has to be warm, but it has to come across as, okay, you know, she's doing this to get the people to her side, not because she's actually like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think Julianne Moore, though, she would be really good at it, because every time I think of somebody like being like dual like that, I think of her character in Children of Men, because she was kind of a hard ass bitch, but then like she had like that some scenes where she was very tender and like remembering like her kid and stuff like that with Clive. I forget Clive Owen's character's name, but she played like two different sides, right? So I kind of
I think she can do it. I look forward to it, because I mean, I remember when we were doing the Coin fan cast series, and everybody was like, oh, Tilda Swinton, and you know, those kinds of actresses that, okay, they are really good at playing the hard ass side of Coin.
Yeah.
Cool.
But maybe they don't have that warmth, and I think it's something you just can't leave out. So I'm good with Julianne Moore in that side.
See, I just think the adjective warmth is wrong to me. Like, I think charismatic, you know, a good leader, all those things, but warmth, I don't think is something I would ever describe Coin as.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
warm. I don't think of like Prim or something.
Yeah.
I don't think
cuddly, warmth
Coin
is Peter.
like, we wouldn't see Coin like kissing babies or anything like that. I mean, come on. She knows her position, you know, but she has to be able to get the people to trust her. That's, I guess, what they meant.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that came out of the Q&A was that they explained that Effie is indeed going to be in District 13, which,
Yay!
We planned that totally beforehand, everybody.
Let's sync our hoorays! Hooray!
Oh, we only had the magic ones.
Yeah, so like a couple months ago or last month or something, Elizabeth Banks told some news outlet that she had wrapped Effie Trinket, and we were all like, "Aww."
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear that she did scenes in District 13, because we're all predicting that she's gonna take the place of like, or not take the place completely, but she would be in where the prep team is in 13, because it just, I don't know. In the book, it seems weird where she's just like not there until like the very end for like 2 pages.
I think that's like one of the few things. I really like the books how they are, and I think that might be like the one thing that I wish she had done was put. Because you are like, what the hell happened to her? And then she just shows up at the very end.
At the very end.
And it's so
like,
easy to miss too.
Fire.
It's so easy
Especially
to miss
after
her.
the Catching Fire movie, though, because they did such good work with her character arc.
Right.
So, like, Elizabeth Banks was it was the most heartbreaking thing in the entire
Now that
movie.
was warmth.
Yeah, exactly. And
Effie was warmth.
it would really be such a pity to have that arc just interrupted in Mockingjay.
It would be a huge hole on screen if she didn't show up, like in the book, especially after what you'd seen in Catching Fire. If you were, even if you weren't a book reader, if you were a repeat moviegoer, you would be like, "What?" You know,
she's such a visual presence, and I think it's more impactful if you have her being very un-Effie, like stripped back, no makeup, hair, you know.
Yeah, especially because they haven't had the time to devote to the prep team and things like in the book. You know, in the movie you've got to streamline everything. So they've done that with Effie, which is perfect. And so they need her to raise that whole point of ultimately they're all human.
Yep.
Plus,
and
I just want more Effie. She was great.
I think, and this leads me to the stills, by the way. We were talking just this week through the pages about that scene where they all start talking about, you know, what Katniss when Katniss inspired them, and I think that for me it's like the biggest opportunity they have for Effie, because coming from these random people who are just watching Katniss on TV, it's not as emotional as who Effie has, she has been with Katniss through the journey, and she started out so capital, and her mind just changed completely by the end of Catching Fire.
She has a beautiful arc, I think.
Yeah,
I think they've done her character very well.
When she says that Katniss has inspired her, it's not just, oh, I had an emotional moment or I cried or whatever. No, Katniss actually changed her life in a sense.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Yeah, and they say in the Q&A that she doesn't want to be in District 13, but
exactly.
she's there out of, what was the word they used? Was it?
Hang on, I just had it here.
Ash?
Here we go. She does not want to... Okay, yeah, what makes Effie interesting is that she does not want to be there. Unlike Plutarch, she does not want to be part of a revolution. She has to be convinced to help, and she helps for personal reasons, not for political reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see her personal reason being Katniss,
exactly,
and to help Peeta.
That scene was the first thing I thought of.
Which is kind of awesome too, because then that means that she's pretty much the only one in that whole room that only has Katniss and Peeta's best interests at heart, rather than the revolution.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited to see Effie now.
Oh God, I can't wait.
I also thought that scene would be a really great way to give the lines to Squad 451 members, because later on, if they sort of just show up and then they die, I mean, it's still awful that they die, but if you at least have this prior connection to them, oh yeah, okay, they were there, they had that connection with Katniss, they're talking about her. When they do go later on, it's even more emotionally charged, rather than, like you said, having just some randoms talk about her.
So you mean having them in the meeting?
Yes. So you know how, like, I think it's Levy that says when she volunteered, maybe that's a League sister or Jackson or, someone like that. I can see that happening.
Yeah, could be.
I just thought about it, but the news that she's in 13 must be really good for the people who ship Effie and Haymitch.
Oh yeah.
There was someone, I think it was Hannah actually on Instagram, when she posted the picture of Haymitch when the stills came out, because it says for personal reasons, right, Tash? And I think she wrote on Instagram, are those personal reasons maybe Haymitch reasons?
She did too.
Wow,
I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting.
So imagine if when they find the prep team imprisoned, that it's Haymitch that helps find them instead of Plutarch. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. Shipping forever.
That would be nice. I have a confession to make. You know that new still of Haymitch, Woody Harrelson? I am quite attracted to him in that picture.
I think that's a lot of people.
He does look...
hat, the beard, he's just quite attractive.
He does look really good in it.
And I think True Detective has helped my Woody Harrelson crush. It's just developed over the past few weeks.
Oh, yeah, okay, don't say anything. I've only watched 2 episodes, so...
Oh, it's very good.
I'm gonna finish
our lead off for this podcast. Haymitch is attractive.
Yes.
I know,
we've topped
Katniss Haymitch shipper.
Hot Haymitch.
It's so funny that we're only saying this already 2 movies in, and then we're like, oh wait, Haymitch is attractive.
I never fancied Woody Harrelson before, but now I'm like, I don't know what that sound was. It was very involuntary.
That is your first step towards fangirl life.
Fangirl.
That's
shipping.
Shipping. Real life shipping.
Hey, bitch, squee!
Do you guys think that... Sorry, go ahead.
No,
okay.
You go.
Okay, no, I was just saying, do you guys think that still is from that brainstorming session?
Yes, totally. We do think
I'm so excited.
That. Yeah. He's writing it down, all the
in
reasons
the book,
why.
It's on a scraggly notepad or something. I'm like, this is
It's on
so
a
much
whiteboard,
better.
I think. Isn't it?
It was on a whiteboard, yeah.
I really hope it's not a super high-tech thing, because I hate that in movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like we can make it super high tech in 3D, whereas District 13.
Well, it can't be that high tech. He's got a pen in his hand, right?
Yeah, he's writing
Exactly.
with
It stays that way.
I figure it's probably like one of those transparent ones, like on numbers.
I just figured it was like just a like pane of glass that's just there.
It is kind of bright, so it seems like something's shining through or something.
Yeah, but if they're in the room, that's actually what I was going to say. Like, do we think that maybe the still of Beatty is also from that same meeting? Because if they're in that room, then if they're in that room, then the computers are around, so that might explain the glow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they must only have one room that they meet in, so I can see it always being the same room. So.
He's definitely in the same room as the still of Plutarch and coin.
Maybe that's all from the same scene, and Lionsgate are just trying to make it look like they're different. That's all just one scene that we've got in the bag.
But that's what I was just thinking this morning. Actually, like the fact that it took them so long to just release anything. And we still don't have a trailer or anything, so it just makes me think, God, maybe they really are that,
X-Men.
No, come on. X-Men comes out this week. They have no excuse after that.
Well, okay. So my X-Men paranoia, like, antenna was like going, woo, last week, because they put all this stuff out, and there's no Katniss anywhere. There's no Jennifer Lawrence.
I was like, yeah, no Katniss. That's totally Fox's fault. No,
it's a bit weird considering she's Jennifer Lawrence, America's sweetheart, the world's sweetheart.
But that means that they're actually doing the right marketing, because we don't want them to use Jennifer like X-Men did. So
exactly. Well, like you said, though, X-Men is out this week, so if there's a bunch of Katniss stuff coming next week, I'm gonna be like, I told you so!
Crystal's turned into the Katniss golem.
I told you so.
Katniss is my precious.
The X-Men wants it, precious.
It's like the second time we've talked about Gollum for whatever reason.
I want 4 more Gollum references before the show's over.
You know what's funny is that I can picture a bunch of us taking pictures with that Gollum statue at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah.
I totally would.
I love that statue.
I don't know if it was the same statue or whether they just have like multiple copies, but he was actually at Supernova in Melbourne that I went to a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, it's following me.
Do you have the ring of power?
Maybe I do.
Explain things.
Somebody slipped it into your pocket, and that's why he's following you around.
Yeah. 3 more times, Kira. There we go. We've got the 3rd reference in.
Yay!
Ready to go.
All right, so one more thing to talk about was the motion poster, and I watched that thing like 30 times. But I kept thinking, oh my god, I can't wait until the part 2 motion picture comes out and like they burst through the ring or whatever it's gonna have to do. It'd be so fun to see like it completed, because we've gotten to see it transition like 3 times already.
Plus, from a merchandising standpoint, they've got 4 different pins.
Yeah.
Let's shoot for a 5th.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, 3 to a Hobbit.
They gave out the 3rd version of the Mockingjay pin at the Cannes party, and I mean we were all like looking at it and seething with jealousy of all the people in France.
Yeah,
so pretty,
big time.
But yeah, I'm sure that's going to be Comic-Con and stuff like that. So
I have to wait all 3 months.
I wonder if for the 4th movie, then the bird is breaking free. Then how are they going to make the pin?
I don't know.
That's what I thought too. Someone said shatter the ring, and I'm like, but that's what holds the bird. I was very.
Yeah, you know, like the little spokes
and you
that
don't
are
want
in
to.
the...
You don't want to have like pieces like hanging off that like people can snag their clothes on and stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
dangerous.
What if it's just
Well, at least
Sam's
you'd
ring?
have like a weapon. If someone tried to like accost you, you could just get off your Mockingjay pin and.
I mean, maybe it'll still all be connected, but it'll be clearly broken, or at least fractured a little bit, and it's still a ring, but you can still see cracks in it or whatever.
I don't think it's going to be that explosive where like it will just burst off your coat. Large.
You push this button and it explodes.
It comes with this little button on the side, and when you press it explodes.
And the bird flies off your chest.
Yep, one time.
Totally safe, Lionsgate. Go ahead. No, but with the motion poster, the thing. Okay, I like the motion poster. I like the transition thing and everything. There are just two things that I don't like about it. First is the tagline, which I'm sure you all know I'm really, really, really against.
Why?
Because
it's the context. The context that they took it from in the book. She has very big issues with it.
Yeah. And besides, it's from part 2 anyway. Like, come on, that has to happen part 2. So, yeah.
I see.
And just, I feel it's very insensitive, though. That's just me, though. But, okay, so that, I don't like the tagline. And the second thing is, why did it take them so long to release it? Like, they had the animation for the movie. So why did it take them until now to release motion poster? It's so silly.
I don't know. I mean, by all accounts, we should have a teaser trailer by now. I guess in the scheme, in the scheduling of things. So I don't know if they want to release as less as possible.
X-Men.
No, but I remember before, for Catching Fire, the motion poster came out in something like in December or something like that. It's like almost a whole year before.
Yeah, I think around this time we already had like 20 posters, so we're way behind.
And the teaser trailer. Yeah. But, okay.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to like the topic of our episode title, From Paris with Spoilers, because I mean we were starving, and then all of a sudden it's like there's like flooding Twitter, just so many pictures from the set, and it's because they were filming in an apartment complex, and I guess they couldn't tell people, can you please move out while we film?
Yeah, of course.
So everybody was taking pictures and videos, and so like every day that we logged on, you could go check like Instagram, and there's like new you could see like them filming actual scenes in the Capitol, and it was hard to stay away from looking at them because it was just like, I mean, it was so big spoilers, spoilers. But I mean, after being starved for so long, I just found my eyes just always going to them, and
I didn't mind. I like spoilers, so.
Me too.
I think I got really upset though.
I enjoy spoilers, but I think I think I got more irritated because so many came out, and I was tired of seeing it, and like I kept seeing things I didn't want to see yet, and like just the sheer amount that was coming out, I was like, stop.
Yeah.
I like it when it's like 5 or 10 pictures or like a video here and there, because then there's still like mystery, but then I was like, stop, cut it out.
I think the one that got me upset was the one with PETA holding his gun up. I didn't like that people were attaching that to their tweets. It's like, at least give people the option to click it.
See what you see. Yeah.
Or Katniss and PETA fighting, that's a real giveaway.
Yeah, I mean...
Because where did they film this in Paris? Like, right in the city centre? On Champs-Elysees? I mean, it's just like, where is the security? It
was like a courtyard. It was a courtyard, and all the apartments are all around it. So there's all these people It was like a theater, almost.
But they
it was
just out with their morning
it was
fake
near a
going,
metro
hey, look
station.
something.
It was near a metro station, so people could just get off and just go and stand outside.
And we saw some Instagram videos of like what it looked like outside the place, and I guess they had a barrier set up, and there were just crowds of people just waiting there.
Yeah,
just standing
Paris
outside.
Has the world's greatest street theater.
Just to get a glimpse.
It has Oscar winners in it.
No, I mean I didn't mind the pictures so much. I kind of was a bit iffy about the videos though, because okay, it's not that I don't want to know how it happens. It's just that I know that they're going to like put stuff like that in the DVD, and then I'd be like, I already know.
Yeah. The one thing I found interesting though was that there was no Jenna Malone in any of them, and I mean we know she was in Paris because she had that tweet with Steph Dawson, like hanging out or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I found it really interesting that we saw them sort of shooting what we all assumed must be some of the victors' vote, because we saw Meta and Jeffrey
Wright, yeah,
and Steph Dawson, but we never saw Jenna Malone. I found that really interesting.
Well, technically, she's not in Squadron 451, is she?
No. This was a different.
I mean,
they were filming somewhere else
for the vote.
Oh,
we saw photos of like Steph and Meta and stuff.
Oh, like training and
big umbrella and whatever.
No, at the end of part 2 when they're gonna vote on whether they're gonna have another Hunger Games.
Yeah, but I don't think so though, because Julianne Moore wasn't there. That's what I keep going to. Like they had Steph, they had Jeffrey, they had Maida, and we know that Jenna was there. And
so
I guess
what were they filming?
I keep going back to torture scenes. That's
okay.
They had nice clothes on though. That's what gets me.
Yeah.
And they all looked healthy. But
why would they film those in Paris? You'd think they would film those in Atlanta, so it's confusing.
In a set. Especially because we know Elizabeth Banks is finished.
Yeah.
And she ushers Katniss out, onto the, get ready, here's your big moment kind of thing. So I'm assuming she might be around for that voting kind of part.
Yeah. And I think they do probably film the voting thing there because, I mean, Woody Harrelson was in Paris too, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't. Julianne Moore got to parties after, for Cannes.
Well, she was at Cannes, that's true too. So maybe we just never got to see a photo. There. Well, I'm wondering, was it more exterior stuff that they wanted there, like filming them going to vote?
Yeah, maybe just to give it more scope.
And obviously the balcony where she falls off, the balcony where it takes place. I'm wondering, because Donald Sutherland was at Cannes as well, so I'm wondering if that. It was just they needed to just do that outside bit.
I mean, there's sets that we probably haven't seen, so I don't know. It could just be one perspective, and it's the same scene, and
possibly
the presidents are filmed inside a building or something.
I keep getting confused. Was the boat? It was in the Capitol, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or do they go back to 13?
No, it's in the Capitol. It's in Snow's mansion, actually, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Are they filming in Swan House again?
Oh, they did. They did film again. They filmed there for like 3 weeks or something before they left.
Mustn't have a balcony or something they can use. I'm wondering. Look, I mean, they had the balcony where obviously Snow had the champagne glass and whatever in there, but maybe that wasn't big enough to accommodate their endings.
Could be.
No idea.
Especially if you are going to push her off and have her fall in the crowd.
But then they also filmed, we saw the battle scenes with the Star Squad and everything, and they also filmed with Tigers, right? They escaped from Tigers' place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gail and Katniss walking out of that store, which I thought was funny because it was a bakery, right?
Yeah, I remember.
She went in there looking for pita.
Yeah, when the first pictures came out, we were wondering whether that coat was actually...
Yeah.
I just stared at it. I stared at it for hours going, no, come on, that has to be a costume.
I loved that coat. I thought it was a beautiful costume.
Well, it looked...
Whenever I read it in the book, I thought it sounded ridiculous that they were going to be wearing really garish capital things, and I thought, those are pretty.
That's why I'm really excited about that part, actually.
Exactly.
When I read it in the book, it sounded so clownish. Like, you know how in Harry Potter when they tell you like that wizards can't dress like normal people, but it's always funny. Well, kind of like that to me. Like, they just grabbed whatever wig they came across, put it on their head, and just walked out.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm really glad that it's.
And the other thing about both of them too is that they're functional, because I always found it ridiculous, like you said, that have they like grabbed all these wigs and like puffy coats and whatever, but then short moments later they're running because like the earth is opening and like other pods and stuff are going off, like, so
it's very
so they had these big giant puffy things on.
I don't remember who it was that said, was it Natalie Dormer, like, who said that they had to wear those costumes so they could hide their weapons?
Oh, Jennifer said that. She told MTV, right? Jennifer. She told Joss.
Right.
That's right, yeah.
But they're beautiful costumes, so it's not going to ruin the dramaticness of it.
No.
Which is good.
I agree.
Which makes me more excited.
Yeah, me too. It was now the only thing I'm worried about is Tigress herself, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want her to come up
not
like
too ridiculous.
Or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So they announced Tigress, and then Jackson, but they never announced Mitchell, and yet there's a Mitchell.
Yeah.
In like the IMDb thing, and then there's a Mitchell like in Paris in the set photos.
His whole life he's going to be, I was in Mockingjay, and everyone will be like, you weren't.
Right.
No.
Are you that guy who died after 2 minutes of battle? Yeah. I'm Orlando Bloom, Black Hawk Down.
What was it? Jamie Lannister in Black Hawk Down too?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah,
he
was.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone is in Black Hawk Down. It's like a band of brothers. Like every actor in their 30s was in that TV show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I have to rewatch Black Hawk Down, honestly, but I don't want to.
If you haven't already, you guys should check out the like Game of Thrones stars like back in the day. I can't remember what that video is called.
Please share when you find it.
Ugh, what is it called? If you just search like Game of Thrones actors, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. It exists. It's really funny. I'm gonna look for it.
Just Google it yourselves.
I actually, totally off topic, but Game of Thrones, I couldn't believe that, what's his name, Maester Pycelle was the evil dude out of Indiana Jones.
And the...
What?
Pycelle?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Go and look him up. He's,
oh my god.
Yeah, he's like the
Indiana
old
Jones.
Yeah.
He's
also... Indiana Jones.
He's in Empire Strikes Back. He's the dude who tells Vader that they're going through the asteroid field.
No way.
Yeah, that's
totally. Oh my god, you guys just blew my mind.
Yeah. And, yep. Look at the pictures. It's like, no way.
Oh my god, I can totally picture that. I didn't recognize him at all. Oh my god.
Me either. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so trippy.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, I'm on the 4th book now.
You are.
Yay.
I'm doing well.
Oh, good job. I'm still on the
What?
3rd.
I overtook you, Carla? How?
Yeah, I read 2 books in between.
All right.
Yeah.
Book 4
By the way,
four,
at the end of
what,
A Storm
Feast
of
for Crows?
Swords... Wow. Yes, I'm on
What?
Feast for Crows. At the end of A Storm of Swords... Oh my god. But we'll talk about that later.
I know, I told you. Remember, I told you, yeah. Okay,
like, say what? Anyway.
I know.
Say it gets better or it gets worse.
I didn't get to read it, but I saw like some headline of some article where Peter Dinklage, because they're Peter Dinklage and Jennifer are in X-Men. Like I guess he like made her scream because he like started spoiling Game of Thrones for her.
Yeah.
Seriously?
So I think I read in Empire that when they were at Comic-Con or something, and he started telling her, and she's like, la 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 la.
Have you guys heard that story of the Dutch teacher? He's like an English teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Class.
I remember that, yeah.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
Okay, hold on.
She's worked with 3 people from Game of Thrones, or going to be. It's going to be Natalie Dormer, Gwendolyn Christie, and Peter Dinklage.
Yep.
6
Just
degrees.
an FYI, just type in before they were on Game of Thrones in YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
It's amusing.
Yay. We like amusing things.
Right, so back to
Back to
Mockingjay.
Hunger Games. Yeah, sorry, everyone.
So, like, I guess we can talk a little bit about the cans party, or is it can or cans? It's can.
Can.
Can
Don't
party.
pronounce the S.
Yeah, I think in my Australian accent we go like, "Can, mate."
God.
Have you seen the video of Liam trying to pronounce it?
No.
By the way, I have to
No.
post that, by the way.
Oh,
I
bless.
didn't see
He's saying that he's so glad to be in, and then he's like, can. Like, yeah, it's really funny.
French it up, lame.
I can relate.
But, yeah, I mean,
before when Courtney said mobile, and I was like, what? Mobile, like mobile.
Wait, what are you trying to say? Mobile, like a mobile phone.
Yeah, but the
We
Americans
say mobile.
Yeah, we say
Mobile.
mobile.
Thank you. No,
I don't
mobile.
have time to say mobile. It's mobile.
Mobile is a petrol station.
Yeah, mobile.
I just call them cell phones. So.
Nah, fine.
Tash, what do you call the Big Dipper? Like the constellation?
Oh, the saucepan.
The saucepan.
The
That's
what?
right.
Oh my
Saucepan.
goodness.
It looks
call it
more
the
like a
saucepan.
saucepan than a dip.
Thank you.
You
It
know.
looks like a saucepan.
I agree.
Tash, is this Australia or is that just you who calls it saucepan? Because I'm pretty sure it's Big Dipper everywhere.
Like, in Spanish, it's called Big Bear and Little Bear. So they're bears, but I don't see bear
That's
either.
way better.
Yeah.
You say it in Spanish.
Osa Mayor is Big Bear, and Osa Menor is Little Bear.
I'm not even
So.
going to try and pronounce that, but it sounds like
No.
Osa Mayor.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
URSA? I always thought it was Ursa.
Oh, so I
No,
found it. Look, it says favorite constellation of the Australian summer Orion. Blah 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 blah. It said about the saucepan. It's part of it. It's our name for part of it.
Okay.
Okay.
For the square bit.
Yeah, I
probably.
guess so. Right, so were we going to speak about Cannes?
Sorry.
Yeah, my mind went blank though all of a sudden. Well, I mean, it looked like a really cool party, but it looked really capital. Like even Jennifer Lawrence commented on that, right? Saying it was very capital. Like I guess they had it at some like $340 million Russian mansion or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Somewhere.
But there's still people saying that it was less, I don't know, less over
Extravagant than
last
than last year.
So I guess in a sense they were trying, but they can't be too shabby.
Interesting sponsors, because one of the sponsors of the party was Skull Candy.
Yay!
And last year it was CoverGirl, so I'm like, okay, am I going to go down? Well, actually, am I going to go to America and see Skull Candy Hunger Games headphones? Because we would never get such a thing here.
I would use those more.
Yeah,
And cover,
Totally.
yeah.
I would too.
Listen to War in perfect.
In perfect surround sound.
Yeah, perfect surround sound War.
I
Hear
think
every
it's
breath.
that
Jennifer Lawrence James.
we haven't heard anything about any sponsorship yet, right? Because I mean, last year we had CoverGirl, we had Subway, we had a ton of stuff, and this year we don't have anything.
You know what? Nothing
Yes.
could ever be worse than Feed Your Hunger, which
Oh,
was
God.
just oh god,
Let's not talk about that again.
the stupidest decision ever made.
The one thing about cans, canny, whatever,
Can.
just that cast photo, and you just sort of look at it and you're like, I mean, you know that all those actors are in the film, but to see them all in one place and looking so
yeah.
pretty, and you're just like, oh my god, how many movies in the world can boast of having this kind of caliber of cast?
Exactly.
I know. Yeah,
That
that's a real.
was the standout.
The one with all the actors, and then Francis and Nina and John Killick was there. That one was really, really.
That was
nice.
amazing. Yeah, bookended by Donald Sutherland, Julianne Moore, people that have been in the industry for like then the Young Center and, producers and everything.
I mean, it's just really amazing that we have this cast.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, when people say that, okay, out of the young adult movies, like Hunger Games is kind of the top, right? Like critically and
Not kind of. Almost certainly.
It is
Since the beginning of cinema, it's the top. It's better than Rebel Without a Cause.
Exactly. But I mean, and then a lot of, like, most people attribute it to, of course, the fact that the books are awesome, which is great. But at the same time, it's just, you have a team that's looking for quality, not just, I mean, and I don't mean just the cast, because obviously, okay, we have this amazing cast, but just the people who work, the whole crew. Like, for me, it's just amazing how dedicated everybody is.
I mean, we're so lucky. Look at The Golden Compass, which is from an amazing set of books, and they just, excuse my French, bollocksed it up. But here, we're so lucky. It's just an incredible team.
Absolutely.
That know exactly how to do it right.
Mm-hmm. And that is why we forgive them stuff like, feed your hunger.
Yeah. Because no one will remember the marketing campaigns.
Yeah, exactly. No. But the movie stays.
Yeah. And the movie with starving people, feed your hunger.
It was really good though that they managed to get so many of them, of the cast members there. I mean, obviously they were in France, so it's not like it was a big of a stretch or anything.
Hard.
But
and I'm guessing that's really the only reason. Next year probably will only be like 2 or 3 of them again, like last year.
Yep, probably.
But
I keep thinking of poor Jennifer Lawrence though, because she's like, how many times has she traveled back to the States just in the 2 weeks?
When does she sleep?
I don't know.
On the plane, I guess.
Maybe they drug her on the plane.
Let's not start those rumors.
Good morning, Miss Lawrence. Here's your,
I think about it and I just die inside every time I think about what that poor girl has to be going through.
Well, speaking of Jennifer Lawrence, she was sighted going into her hotel in Berlin, so she's landed in the final filming area.
She's in the same city as you, Carla.
God. Seriously, I have to go and take a walk around the center of the city, see if I come across anyone.
Yeah.
Just look for a mob of photographers, and you're getting close.
Yep. Totally.
Or anyone wearing sunglasses and a hat.
But yeah, I mean, they've already started prepping at Tempelhof, so I guess they're going to start filming next week, probably.
Okay, so everybody wish Carla good luck because they're having a set visit contest in Germany, and we really want her to win because it would be her dream come true.
And it would be great for the site.
Yep.
Yeah. Seriously, though, wish me luck. I really need it.
Good luck.
Lots of luck.
Actually, I was talking to my flatmate a couple hours ago because every time she goes to her lab, you can actually see the airport from the train, right?
Oh, really?
So it's like, if you go by and you see any sort of movement, please just take a picture. I don't care if it's horrible because you're in the train and it's moving, just take a picture. I don't usually go in that direction. It's really far away from my usual, area. But she has to go through there every day. I'm trying to, I hope.
A 3-hour commute to where it's only 10 minutes away.
So when are they going to be?
It's actually like an hour, honestly. But yeah, I hardly ever go. But and we were just talking about because I used to go there when I had classes in the university on that side of the city. We used to go by and we used to see the field at the airport, and just it's closed, right? So there's nobody's using the airport, so people just go there to fly kites and stuff. People can just go. So I'm wondering how they're keeping it closed now, because obviously
I was looking at searching for Tempelhof on Twitter, and there was like some guy had just taken a picture of himself just lying on the runway.
Yeah.
This is an abandoned airport, right?
Yeah, they're not.
Clear. Okay.
And is there some kind of legal like battle going on to like make homes over there or something?
No, I don't think so.
I keep seeing. I can't read German, so all the tweets I see are all about some referendum or something about the airport.
It might be the other airport because they're building a new one, and it's taken like years because there's legal stuff. But yeah, it's not there. That one is it's not in use. But I mean, sometimes they rent it out for events. Like I think at the end of the month, and actually I was wondering about that too, because I know that on May 31st there's this like Berlin summer rave party type thing. There's like an announcement for it, a rave party.
Okay, thank God. I thought you said something
else. I think you heard what I heard, Kira.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I'm sure. No, but they have like ads and everything, and I keep wondering how they're going to do that if Mockingjay is going to be filming right there. But you know,
oh my God, imagine how stressed that would be. They won't shut up.
Surprise to come and party with us, hey! Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's they use it for events and stuff, so yeah, I guess they have to close it up somehow. But if they're
like cheap flights to Berlin, they're not cheap enough.
If they're filming, because the thing is, I don't really know what they're filming though, because if they're actually using the wide space of the field itself, like you know the wide open thing, then anybody could see that from the train. But if they're in the buildings, then or behind the buildings, then
do they have any kind of tunnel thing where maybe they could do like?
I wouldn't know about tunnels. I've never actually been inside, so I don't know if they have tunnels. But
well, they must be filming District 2 here, right? Because Paler, right?
Yeah.
Bettina Miller is headed to Berlin, so it's got to be. Or actually, she was in 8, right? Okay,
yeah, she was 8.
But then I don't know. We haven't heard about Gwendolyn Christie filming yet, so I think they must be doing district stuff in general.
Yeah, I kept thinking about it because there's the one interview, actually the same interview with the Liam and Can thing. Jennifer says they ask her what is different about Mockingjay, and she's like, oh, you get to see more of the capital, and you get to see a lot more of District 8. And I was like, that's oddly specific, because I would assume that she doesn't really know at the point like what they're filming, because if they're not filming in order, then it gets confusing.
Yeah.
But she remembered District 8, so maybe that's what they are filming right now.
Possibly. I mean, with lots of, I like the exterior, lots of the military vehicles hanging around. So I suppose you would have to see the capitals might at some point, just as you would see District 13's.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they established that whole, peacekeepers came from District 2 thing.
Yeah, right.
You just see them all in their trucks.
Mm.
It sounds very cool.
Yeah.
You do?
Hey, we got her back.
Want us back.
Fish out of water. He's back in the water.
So let's move to our last topic, which is predictions for what they're going to release next.
Well, a trailer is next.
I think it has to be teaser, okay? Because X-Men's out, and like if they release a trailer like I don't know next week, then it's still like 2 months until they release a full trailer at Comic-Con or something, right? So I think the timing is fine.
Remember Catching Fire's teaser trailer, which was 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Actual trailer. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing teaser about that. And
it was really good though. I really loved all the Catching Fire trailers.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I think they might call it a teaser trailer, but it won't be. It'll be 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I remember when teasers were like a minute.
Yeah.
Or say just a logo.
Come on, the first teaser we got for the Hunger Games was just Katniss walking around the forest.
Oh yeah, that's right.
None of that was in the movie at all,
Yeah.
and has yet to be seen since.
Filmed for a trailer.
So yeah, that
We'll
was
get Golem Kiro if the teaser
I
trailer
guess
actually.
they learned their lesson though, because people complained about it.
Courtney, do you remember? I don't know if you were on that episode of Fireside Chat, but we did that pause every like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And
Oh
it was
yeah,
like, tree, another tree.
Yes.
Here's more trees.
We ran that into the ground. We couldn't analyze it any further.
Oh, there's a rock.
Yeah.
What can the rock mean?
That rock has moss on it.
She's going north.
It means they're looking south.
No, but seriously, they have to release a trailer though, like a teaser at some point, because we're almost a month away from Comic-Con at this point. I mean, rounding it up, but yeah. So yeah, they have to have a teaser because Comic-Con has to be the big one, right? The big trailer. So they have to.
I think like it'll be teaser and then like a new poster with Katniss on it.
Yeah.
Some kind of like
I'm thinking, definitely some new posters or stills.
Yeah.
But they never really release a poster with Katniss until later, like September, October time.
Actually, we're missing our good old friend Entertainment Weekly.
Oh yeah.
Where's their first looks?
Where's our first look? E-Weekly?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are the...
No, but we had posters though. Didn't we have the Capitol portrait?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had loads of posters actually. Yeah. Sorry, I
did 13 portrait.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just
then you've got a Hamish to hang on your wall.
Yeah, I mean, and the week before, or the couple weeks before Comic-Con, they released the Victor posters, right?
Yeah.
Posters, yeah, because they have
many
them for
posters for Catching Fire, actually.
We're due for a poster at least, a good one.
Absolutely.
Now that I think about it, because now I'm getting really excited, because for the first two movies, you kind of know who's going to be in the posters, because, you have your tributes and whatever, but in this one, it's like, oh god, I might get a poster of Gwendolyn Christie.
I thought you were going to say Gale.
No, Gale has a poster already, but, I mean, obviously, I want a poster of Gale, yes, please.
Gale in uniform.
In uniform.
Yes.
Oh, in uniform. Of course.
By the way, that was one of the funniest things, Crystal, because then you hadn't put up the podcast the last time, and then the pictures from Friends started coming out, and there's Gale in uniform. Yay! That was like the first picture I saw. I'm like, oh, okay.
Maybe before you post this, Crystal, we'll have a trailer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
X-Men's out.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, how fun would it be? Like Saturday trailer, like right after the X-Men premiere.
It'd have to be at least Monday. No one works at the weekend in Hollywood.
Yeah. That's true. But no, I was just thinking, who do you think is going to get a poster then? This time
I think Squadron 451. I think we're going to have a District 13 promotional.
Yeah.
If you burn, we burn. If we burn.
Wouldn't that be better for part 2 though?
Oh,
I think that part's going to be
some of it.
The we burn, you burn, we burn with this. So that's going to be in part 1.
Yeah, I think
we still have Katniss being a propaganda figure, so propaganda all the way.
Yeah. I think they definitely need to start, at least.
Yeah.
Even if they ramp it up, for the beginnings of part 2. But they need to kind of, plant that they're... I want, like, that graffitied Mockingjay poster over something. Like, release an official poster of Snow and then have it graffiti.
I really like that, by the way, the graffiti.
Something. But yeah, all those sets
in Paris,
fantastic.
that was really awesome.
I had to wonder if they actually sprayed that on that building.
Put that in your marketing.
I think they might have.
Because it was on top of the poster, so it wasn't really graffiti.
I guess they could just paint over it, but I just remember looking and thinking, oh.
Yeah. Come on, I mean, I would, if I were the owner of the building, I would just leave it there, because then you can just bring
sell tickets.
They
come inside. You can pay $5 and take picture with our Mockingjay.
Yeah, that's their retirement fund.
Put a tent over it so you can't see it from the street, and you have to pay like
Pay to go
10 francs to get in.
But it's really cool though, because then that's kind of a sign that the whole rebellion thing made it all the way to the capital. So that's nice.
Exactly. So yes, something, just more, anything, more.
Yeah, just give us something more.
No more lull.
PETA, please.
Shirtless Peter, please. Yes.
I'm still waiting for the propaganda, like Kira said. Like, okay, we have Hunger Games exclusive, but that's marketing. I want propaganda. Like, make it in the context of the book.
Do you not remember, like, they tweeted, I can't remember what it was from, was it Capital Couture? Somebody tweeted that they were having problems and they were going to sort it out.
Oh, was that the
Hunger
UK?
Games UK?
Yeah, the UK.
Or was it? See, no, I expected like a slow build like that, like across all of their websites and social network pages would start being infiltrated, which would have been incredible. But it seems like they came up with the idea and then thought, nah.
Yeah.
Everybody already expects this. Yeah.
or the UK came up with the idea and went, crap, no one else is doing it. Crap.
And then they phoned over at LA and it's like, is it okay if we do this? No, it is not.
No, it's not. Crap, everyone, stop, you know?
So, going back, Courtney, just to explain the whole shirtless PETA thing, before you think we're all weird. Last week, Tash asked us, oh, so do you think we're going to get a scene of PETA shirtless planting roses for Katniss? And we were just like, huh?
Why is he shirtless?
But apparently in Tash's book, he's shirtless. But it was we didn't get that version.
Australian reprint.
I like how you just assumed that's how he was dressed. For such a, like, emotional, like, sad...
He's just topless.
That's natural, come on. Everybody's shirtless when planting roses.
She confused it with a dream she once had.
Yep.
Was that in the book, or did I dream that? I have those moments all the time.
That's what we were telling her.
That's when fangirling goes too far.
Yeah, I had a dream last night that Bran from Game of Thrones lived next door to me. It took me like a few hours to think about it, and I was like, no, that kid who lives next door is not Bran. I was the actor who played him in Game of Thrones, and I was like, oh, but it isn't him. It's a completely different person.
Well, they did film some of Game of Thrones in Ireland, so...
Practically a lot of it. Anything that has woods or...
Yeah, so he was there.
He was there, yeah. Never met him.
Maybe not quite next door. Hot Haymitch. There you go. Got you out of that one. It's all about Hot Haymitch.
I don't know whether he's actually hotter or it's something to do with True Detective.
Maybe just because you were so starved of anything. It's like, first person I see.
He just looked rugged with his hat and his little beard. He looked like he just woke up. I'm going to stop talking.
Right. Who are you talking about?
Haymitch.
Oh, Hot Haymitch.
Hot Haymitch. I think, for, the older ladies, not the teenage girls, we like a bit of Haymitch. Just putting it out there.
Movies have something for everyone.
Yeah. If you feel you're too old for Liam or Josh, you've got Woody. It's not useful.
You've got Woody. Yep.
Alrighty. Before this goes any further, let's wrap up.
We
need to get a man into the show to stop us doing this. We need Jared.
Yeah, we need Jared or Jackson.
Better get Jared or Jackson to come back.
But then they would just talk about how amazing Jennifer Lawrence is, and then we'd be screwed.
Alrighty, well, thank you everyone for listening to episode 4 of JabberCast. Be sure to visit us at our website, www.Jabberjays.net. You can follow us on Twitter at @HGJabberjays or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Jabberjays.net and on Instagram at Jabberjays.net. And for Courtney, you guys can visit her website, which is welcometodistrict12.com. And that's it for this episode.
We love it.
Okay, so
shucks.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.